welcome to my channel. My name's Alicia. I love all things makeup, all things beauty. If you are into that kind of thing, I think you would really enjoy my content. I hope that you will subscribe and stick around for all of my future videos. In today's video, as you could tell from like the intro, we are testing a ton of Jaclyn cosmetics as well as Morphy and Jaclyn collaboration type products in this video. A lot of these I have had and I have not used yet. I was waiting to use them on camera. So if you are interested in seeing how all of these products perform as well as how to get this look using some of Jaclyn's products, then please stay tuned. Alright guys, I hope you have settled in. It is going to be a long one today. The only thing I've done thus far is prime my lids with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. I also have on my skincare and my new skin lip balm that I love so much. I keep telling y'all about this, but it's just because I use this every day and I never mention it, but it's such, like, if you need a good lip balm, this is a good one. Link will be in the description box below. Not sponsored, but yes, we have got a lot of stuff to try out and I am so excited. Some of the stuff I've had for a while and I've just been waiting to film with it. So I'm going to go ahead and get right in. I'm going to try to use just Jaclyn brushes. If I have to dip into any extra ones, you know, you guys all know, but that's what we're going to be doing today. Full face, essentially with just Jaclyn Cosmetics. I don't have like a foundation from her or a concealer, so that stuff I'll have to pull just from my, you know, my regular collection. But I think everything else except mascara will be Jaclyn Cosmetics. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, now I say Jaclyn Cosmetics, I either mean like in collaboration with Morphy or Jaclyn Cosmetics itself, but this is a very heavy Jaclyn themed video. I know that people either love Jaclyn Hill or they hate her. I am somebody that absolutely loves her. She was one of the first channels that I started watching, and honestly, I mean, she has done, you know, she's made some errors in her brand, the first lipsticks that she created. You know, I'm not going to go into that whole story, but I think the fact that she admits her errors and she is trying to come back from them, the fact that she is still trying publicly with all of the hate that she has faced, makes me have even more respect for her. But yeah, I have a few of her palettes. Now these are in collaboration with Morphy. I've got the very first one. This is the Jaclyn Hill palette, obviously. I'm going to go ahead and open it up, even though I'm sure you guys are well aware of what this looks like. These big palettes like this retail for $39. And then I also have two of her smaller palettes. So this is from her Vault collection. I didn't get the whole Vault. I just got the ones that I happen to like. Okay, I was trying to find the name. It is Armed and Gorgeous is the first one that I got. Is this very like grungy, delicious type of a color story. I love these colors all year, but especially in like the fall and the winter. But yeah, got this palette, and then the other one I got was the Bling Boss. Now these normally retail for like $18. But the one that I'm going to be using today is the Volume 2. Now I've had this one for a while and I have never used it, guys, which is so sad. Oh, and I stuck my finger in there. But this, as you can tell, is like a heavily like red, orange, purple type of vibes. You do have some everyday colors in here as well. I would say these two rows really are kind of everyday colors. Yellows, you would be surprised. Yellow goes with so much. It goes with pinks. It goes with reds. It goes with oranges. It goes with browns. Greens. Like really, if you put that yellow down before you blend out like a brighter shade like that, it just melts and blends so good. So I think yellows really are kind of staples. But yeah, here we go. And I really don't know what direction I'm gonna go in. I've got on like a purplish type of a shirt, so I'm gonna try to keep it more of like neutral though, but I'm thinking I'm wanting to go into like this pinky shimmer type of a shade over here. So we're gonna go ahead and start with our eyes first. Now, as far as eyes are concerned, I did pick up the Jaclyn and Morphy eye set collection. This retailed for $39. It did come with a bag as well. Honestly, I don't know where my bag is because I don't buy these for the bags, but it has got just some wonderful, wonderful brushes in here. It came with a lot of blending brushes, which I love blending brushes. Out of all brushes, those are the ones that I use the most. So you've got really like 2 big blender type of brushes, and then you've got this little tiny one. This is probably my favorite blender brush out of the set that I'm going to be talking about now. This is a tiny little detailed blender type brush as well. I think she actually says that this is for her inner corner. So, you know, you can use brushes for whatever you want. I personally would probably use this more for my inner corner, but this is just like a little smudge brush. You've got a flat definer, you've got a packer brush, and then this, I really use these like fatter flat brushes for like the outer corner, like deepening things up. So we are gonna get right in. Out of this palette, the first thing that I'm going to use is this shade right here, and it's I'm In It. So that's kind of like a satiny shimmer type shade, and as you can tell, there's no mirror in this. It makes it 100%, you know, recyclable. But I am going to take this big blender brush here, and I'm going to go into that whitish shimmer shade. Now, if you put a matte over a shimmer, it is going to be less vibrant, which is why I'm doing this right now, because you might think, a white shimmer in the crease, like, have I lost my mind? Probably. But, oh my gosh, and actually this is like a pink. Y'all see that? That is like a unicorn type of a color. I hope that you can see that reflection. Yeah, you can see it's picking up. Whoa. That actually made it even cooler because I thought I was going to keep it more neutral, but I am going to go in with a purple. I couldn't help myself. I love purples. You guys, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know, like purples and greens and browns are my jam. Those are everyday shades for me. All right, so we've got a nice little pink, little milky pinky, you know, number in there. Now I am going to go in, I'm going to put this brush down, and I'm going to pick up another big blender, but I feel like this one's a little bit more precise. I'm going to go in, and I'm going to go into Therapy Sesh, which is just such a pretty purple. Let's hope that it performs well. Purples are one of the hardest colors to formulate and get to apply well. So that actually applied quite nice. It's not like patchy, it's blending well. There's not too much more you could ask for. Pigmented, even with that shimmer down first. I'm going to dip into that shade just a smidge more. Look how freaking pretty that is. Oh yeah. When you go back in for a second layer, do you see how pigmented this gets? Just insane. And I'm blending that into the crease and onto this outer corner, as you can see. I'm just keeping it a little bit lower so that you can see that like milky pink outline around there. And probably what I'm going to do is go back in with this, and I'm going to dip into that little white creamy shade one more time, and I'm just going to blend on the outer edges just to soften that up. Okay, now I'm gonna go into this like little flat brush here, and I think I am gonna go into this shade here, which is a dark purple, but it's got a little bit of like a satin to it, a little bit of a shimmer. And I'm not applying this wet at all. I'm just applying it to a dry brush. And I'm going to just pack that on this outer corner and into the crease a little bit. And when I say into the crease, I am just like pressing, I'm just pressing this into the crease. That way you can see, I mean, you see the outline of my eye. I literally am pressing this right where my eye ends. So it is directly in the crease of my eye. Just like that. Okay, now, all right, now I'm going to try to decide what shimmer I want to go into. This one, which is Ride or Diamonds or Drama Queen. So this is Ride or Diamonds, and this is Drama Queen here. Really kind of similar. Let me swatch them. There's Ride or Diamonds. It's a gorgeous bronzy shade. And then this one is Drama Queen. I think I'm going to go into this one just because it is more of like a pinky tone. So again, I'm just going to take that on my finger. And just apply that right to the lid. Oh, that honestly applied more of like a topper. Like there's not very much pigment to that, I don't think. That's interesting. I'm gonna go in with a little bit more. Layering it up definitely helps, but yeah, this is definitely not like a very pigmented shade at all. Okay. I feel like I want this a little bit deeper, so I'm gonna go into this little flat brush here, and I'm gonna go into this black, which is Temptress. And I'm gonna get that just on the tip of this brush. And I'm gonna put this at the base of my lashes for one. Just on this outer corner over here. And then I'm also going to bring this into the outer corner. Some darkness over there. I'm going to dip back in and do that same thing again. Again, I'm just brushing this black from the lash line, well, from this outer corner over here down into the lash line. And then I'm just going to blend this out just a smidge on the corner. Okay, I think that is where I'm going to keep the eye. I'm going to go ahead, finish up the other side. I'm going to put on my base makeup, and then we'll be back for all of these other goodies. All right, I forgot I was using Jaclyn cosmetic brushes, so we might as well just show the whole thing now. I did catch up my other eye, cleaned everything up, and then I have just dotted on my Smashbox Studio Skin 24-Hour Hydra Foundation in the shade 1.0. Now, I have got Jaclyn's, this is the Ride or Die foundation brush, and so this is JH03 is what it is called. Super soft little brush. Alright, I just had to get my notes. Got some notes here. This brush retails for $16, which is actually pretty cheap. Well, this is a super big brush. Got my little Hocus Pocus mirror. I'll have that video linked down below. That was such a fun collection to test out. And I love this mirror. I've been using it a whole lot. So I like this brush, like how quickly you can do your whole face. I love a big like surface area like this for specifically foundation and base products, even like powders. But I will say these brushes or these bristles are not very densely packed, meaning that the covers that you're gonna get with this is not as much as something like, well, even this Il Maquillage one is not that thick. Covers that you're gonna get with this brush is not as much as something like my It Cosmetics flat top kabuki, just because this one is a whole lot more densely packed, whereas this one, as you can tell, has got, you know, it's got some give to this one, whereas this one not so much. So this one, it like blends your product out further, therefore it's not going to give you the highest amount of coverage. But this is good, you know, for just like everyday use, I guess. I normally like a little bit more coverage here in these areas though, but we're gonna see if the the concealer brush will do that for us. So Morphy had a sale recently where everything was like half off, and so that's where I got a bunch of these newer products. I picked those up very recently. So I picked up this undercover brush just because I love the Jaclyn brushes. So this one is more densely packed. It's not as much give. So we're going to try this one. This is the JH12 Undercover Lover brush. And that one retails for $22. Now, I am going to use my Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer. My little boy is in there laughing. This is in shade 1N. And I'm just going to put this, you know, all the areas that I normally would. Alright, and then I will kind of dot this around on any like blemishes or anything like that I want to cover. And I generally have a whole lot of red like right here. So I will bring my concealer down. So let's test out this new brush. Very soft, which I don't expect anything less. This is actually a little bit scratchy. Like when I'm pressing like this, it's actually a little bit scratchy. So, I mean, not anything like major, but it's definitely not the best brush that I've ever used. Like the brush that I used from that Laura Lee Los Angeles, the one I was using for foundation, foundation and concealer from that birthday collection brush set was a whole lot better than this. For concealer, anyway. But this is a decent size. I could see even using this for concealer or foundation. And as you can tell, I'm just pressing this. Like, I'm not buffing in general, I do not buff my base products. I want to get the most coverage out of my products. You know, there are some people that don't like coverage, that just want a little bit of evenness. I can't relate. No, like if I'm going to take the time to do my makeup, then, you know, I want it to look perfected. I want you to be able to tell that I'm wearing makeup, honestly. Okay. So, got the base done. I actually really like this brush. It is, like I said, it is the tiniest little bit scratchy, like if I'm really nitpicking, but it's nothing severe, to be honest with you. I do like this brush, and I could honestly see, like I said, using this brush for foundation as well, just because this is a nice size. This is not too small, and it's also not too big for concealer. So I actually prefer this brush over the Ride or Die foundation brush. So just FYI. All right, next up, I have a few of Jaclyn's powders. So I have got the Brightening Light Banana Powder, and I have got the Brightening Pink Powder. These powders retail for... All right, these Brighten and Bake powders retail for $29. I love all of her packaging. However, it does having this raised J. It makes it really annoying to store, which if you're a collector, that can be something that's very annoying and can be a big deal. So as you can tell here, you've got this little cup. You can pour the powder out into here. This is the Brightening Pink, and I just made a mess with that. Just got that all over my notebook. That's awesome. So another brush that I got is this one right here. This is the Powder Player brush, and this retails for $22 as well. Nice little soft brush. I am going to just use really what's in the cap right here. And actually, I'll dip into there a little bit. I am going to just put this on my under eyes. Just because I do want to set that area. And from one side to the other, this one definitely does look more like perfected, for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and do my other eye. Okay. And I'm just patting this. Okay, so that is the Brightening Pink. Now we have got this one right here, which is the Brightening Light Banana. And I think with this powder, I am going to just pat this on my forehead and down like the center of my face. All right, so for now, those are all the areas that I'm gonna set. And that is because I'm gonna go in with some cream products. So one of the things that I picked up very recently, like with that Morphy sale, was this cream bronzer. I have mine in the shade Naked. This is what the packaging looks like. It's actually a glass container. And you can see here, this is the color. This retails for $29. It's actually on sale right now for $26 though on Jaclyn's website. And I think I'm gonna go back in with this Undercover Lover brush, and I'm just gonna dip right into here. Okay, so there is the color there, and I'm just gonna start putting this, you know, where I would put my bronzer. So yeah, I actually yesterday I got a Scentsy Peel. So that's the second like professional type treatment I've ever had. So probably like a month and a half ago, I got, no, not even a month and a half ago, 3 weeks ago, I got my first facial that I have ever gotten. And that was lovely, let me tell you. Now I'm like, I want to be rich and I want to get those all the time. They're really not too expensive. I think it was like $65 is what the normal price is for that. But yeah, I got that facial done, and then yesterday for my birthday, which was Thursday, I got a Scentsy Peel done, which is just a chemical peel. It's one that is not like hard on your skin though, like you're not even really expected to peel. You can a little bit usually after 2 days you start peeling if you are going to, and then it could last up to 7 days. But I haven't experienced any peeling as of yet, and I generally like exfoliate my skin pretty regularly. I've mentioned it a few times. The Exfoliate from Kate Somerville is one of my favorite products. I always have it in my bathroom in my shower, and I actually have literally like 4 or 5 of those on backup just because I freaking love it. And if I ever see it on sale, I always pick it up because it is a very expensive exfoliator. It retails for like $75, I think, for like the 1.7 ounce bottle, and it does last a long time, and I definitely think it's worth it even at that price because it really is like a 2-minute facial in my opinion. But yeah, if I ever see it on sale, I always pick it up. But anyway, that peel, I really again loved it. I don't know if like how often I'll go back for that treatment, but just in general for like everyday stress relief, like going and getting a facial every 3 or 4 weeks, I think I'm going to try to keep that up if possible because it was just so nice, and I feel like it really helped out like my sinuses and stuff too. The first time that I went, I was actually getting over a sinus infection, and literally it helped so much. So yeah, that was a whole lot of rambling for nothing, but I really, if you haven't tried a facial, do yourself a favor and treat yourself, because nobody's gonna treat you better than you treat yourself, right? All right, so I really like that bronzer. I think it blended out really well, like A+ for this bronzer. I'm not that much of a fan of cream bronzers, but that was like seamless. Really nice. Now, before we go in with more powders, I also have 2 of her cream blushes. So I picked up Overruled and Swoon. These cream blushes retail for $22, And here are the shades. So this is Swoon, and these are supposed to be like a cream to powder. That is lovely, and holy shunt, the pigment. And then this one, which is more, I think, of like an everyday color, this one here. This is in the shade Overruled. So there are those two shades. Swoon, Overruled. I think I am obviously going to go in with Overruled just because normally I tend to go more towards like the oranges and the peaches in terms of blushes, but with what we're wearing today, this is the one. Alright, I think I want to see how this works out. I'm just going to, I want to just dot this on here. See how this blends. And again, I'm going to use that same Undercover Lover foundation brush. Or concealer brush, excuse me. So it is blending out. Definitely not the easiest, like it wasn't as creamy as that bronzer, I feel like, but dang boy, that actually blended pretty seamlessly as well. Pretty good. I'm gonna do another method, and what I do with like my Fenty blushes like this is I will put them on my hand and then I will pick them up on my brush and then tap this on. And you can tell, I mean, that was still pigmented doing it that way. I think that is how I prefer to put this product on. I just feel like you've got a little bit more control with it. I'm gonna put a little bit more on this side. Alright, so here is the cream bronzer and blush, what that looks like. I think it really blended well. I prefer putting the blush like on my hand and then applying it, but you saw you could do it directly to your face as well, so it's really just kind of a preference of what you prefer. But yeah, those blended out really nicely. All right, we've got a lot of stuff still to get through. So another thing that I have is this little powder palette here, and this is what it looks like here. So this is actually called the Brightening and Setting palette. So you've got peach, light banana, almond, and caramel. And I think with this, I'm just gonna kind of go into those two shades and just brush this right along my jawline right here. Just to kind of set that foundation because we didn't set that earlier. All right, so that is all I'm going to use this palette for today. But this palette retails for $39, and technically, I mean, you could use this for under your eye as well. I think either one of these shades would be great for under the eye. You can mix these shades to kind of set the rest of your face. But yeah, I really do love this palette. Next up, to go ahead and set our cream bronzer, I'm going to go into some of these duos that I picked up. So these are the bronze and blushing duo is what they're called. So it comes with a baked bronzer and a baked blush. These retail for $36 each. They are very bulky, which I don't like. And they are hard to store, like I've said, because of this raised J on them. But yeah, these retail for $36 each. I did pick up 3. They come with a nice big mirror that is, it will stay back like this, or you can, you know, kind of pose it to where you want it. Nice quality mirror. I feel like it's got a lot of wasted space, like all of this around these powders. The actual compact could have been a lot smaller, but I'm not gonna, you know, knock that too much. Y'all, my desk is a mess, so y'all just ignore all that. But this is the shade Lilac Love and Top Tan. This is probably the lightest of all of them. And then we have got Warm Flush and Golden Goddess. This is probably my favorite one. I love this one. And then lastly, we have got Oh Honey and Pink Me Up. So I think I will probably use this bronzer here, and I'm going to go into a new brush that I picked up. This is the bronzer brush, the JH02, and this, why is it like sticking in there? This brush retails for $24, but I just loved the shape of this brush. It reminds me of the one that I'm using now, but it is starting to get a little bit beat up. I've used it for probably like 2 years every single day, so I did want to pick up a new one that was like the same shape. And this is the prior brush I was using, just for reference. This is a crown brush. I still love this brush. I still, to this day, use this brush literally like every day. But yeah, I wanted to just upgrade and get like a newer one. So I'm gonna go ahead. These are such soft powders. Like, they go on like silk. And this is what I'm going to set down that bronzer with, essentially. Now you will see these are kind of messy, like you see that powder kicking up. It kind of is irritating to me because I like my stuff to be clean, so I do have to like wipe this off when I use it, otherwise it will look like that. So just something to be aware of, but it is so worth it for how these powders blend. And this brush is bomb. Such a soft brush. So yeah. There is that. The only thing that I have to complain about this is just the storage. It is really annoying to store, and it is really bulky. It takes up a lot of space. But the actual quality of the mirror, of the products inside, these are literally, they feel like a cream. They are so creamy, and they look so natural and just glowy when you put them on. I love that about this product. All right, as far as the blushes go, I'm at a dilemma because I've got so many of her blushes that I have not used. First off, I have these two Rouge Romance palettes that I have not used. So I've got the Rouge Romance and I've got the Rouge Affair. These palettes retail for $45 each. Now, looking first at the Rouge Romance, holy crap, look at these shades. This shade looks so fun, as well as this one. Love those. Of course, these are probably going to be more of your everydays here, but how fun, how freaking fun. And I've heard that these are really, really poppy. Holy shit. Look at that. Look at that. What? All right, and then you have got the cooler version, which is the Rouge Affair. And look at this shade. This shade is yummy. So is this one. Ugh, so is the French Kiss. Really, these shades are just lovely. This, how pretty would that be on like a deep skin tone probably, right? And then this one here. And I want to swatch this one as well. Oh my god. Oh my god. I love shades like that. Look Look at that. So freaking pretty. So yeah, I don't know if I want to use these, or recently I also picked up some of her Luminish Rouge blushes. Now, I think these are supposed to be like obviously a lighter type version, I would think. Now, again, it comes in this big bulky packaging. So all of her powders are in this big bulky packaging. It does make it very hard to store, but I picked up two shades. I picked up Loverboy, which is this more peachy shade, and then I picked up Love Language, which is more of like a coral. So I don't think really either one of these go with what we are wearing. If anything, maybe the Love Language. I guess I will put a little bit of the Love Language on, or at least swatch it. Let's see what a swatch looks like. So here it is. And obviously it is just like a really light, you can pack it on, but yeah, it is just like a silky, luminous type of a blush. So that was me packing it on. You saw that, and this is what it blends out to. Such a silky powder. As far as this blush goes, I may just put this on my everything little brush here and just kind of sweep this on. It doesn't really do much, in my opinion. I'm going to look at it in a different light. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see too much of a difference, honestly. This side might look a little bit more glowy. I am going to put some on the other cheek just to kind of even it out. So I just have like a very tiny amount. And I'm not dusting this off or anything. I'm just going right in. Okay. So there's that, but I do like this packaging, how you can just look at the top of it and tell what you're grabbing. All right, now I do think I'm gonna go into this palette here, and I think I'm gonna go into this shade because I just love that shade. It is called Fantasy, and yes, it is. I'm just going to pop a little bit of this on. So we have got obviously a whole lot of blush going on here. I normally would not wear this much blush at all, but I just wanted to try all of these. I really did. So whatever is left, I'm going to brush up here. Woo, we've got a lot of blush on. We gotta tone that down. So these are hella pigmented. Let me just tell you, go into those with caution because, as you can tell, like, holy shit. All right, to try to calm some of that down, I have got two different like luminous powders. So I've got the Brighten Up, and then I have got Do Me, and somehow I actually picked up two of these Do Me shades. So these retail for $32 each, and this one is brand new. I haven't even opened it. Right, and I'm going to take this Brighten Up shade, and I'm going to pop some of that into our cap. Okay, I'm going to go in with that powder brush, and basically what I'm going to do is just kind of sweep over all of this. Now, normally I will take a powder brush and I will just go over the perimeter of all of my face with it. Y'all have seen me do that multiple times, and it actually is this Jaclyn brush here. This is JH01, huge powder brush. So this is usually what I use, but I actually am applying product today, so I'm going to use this little powder brush here. I'm trying to tone it down, so you can tell this side is definitely much more toned down now than this side over here. But y'all, I had to try all of those blushes, all the different formulas. I will have to try these at a different time, like on a more like scaled down base, so that, you know, we can see how they really perform. But just overall, I've got the idea of the formulas themselves. So the blush palettes are highly pigmented. The loose powder blushes are definitely like a luminous, like lit from within glow that will give you just a little bit of powder. I think honestly, for me, my favorite surprisingly is these cream blushes. They went on so smoothly. You saw how easy it was to blend out, and they had like a good amount of pigment. It did go down to like a powder formula, like when it dried. It was like a cream to powder, but it still had some pigment. But yeah, I would say these proceed with caution. They are just very pigmented, and as you can tell, you can go overboard really quickly, even using just a tiny bit of product. So these will last you literally forever. Okay, I think that is as good as we're going to get it. Still very blushed, but it'll be okay. All right, and that luminous powder is really just beautiful. I also want to go in with Do Me, and I'm going to go into that again with that everything brush. Now I'm just going to mix that, what I had on my brush, around in this cap, and just apply that right to the tops of our cheekbone and our brow. All right, I am going to go into another highlighter. So I've got these two. These are the Accent Light highlighters. I have two of them. I have Sparks and Ice. These retail for $29. They've got a nice mirror in there. Again, it's got the raised J, kind of bulky packaging again. Super nice mirror. A little bit of wasted space, just like the other ones. But here are these. I prefer the Iced. The Sparks is definitely more champagne yellow. This one is more of a pinky champagne. But yeah, I'm going to go in with my Eco Tools brush, and I'm going to use this for highlighting. So I'm going to put this Iced shade. You see how pigmented that is? Right on the tip of my nose, the bridge of my nose, and then just like right there. And I'm going to put this on my Cupid's bow, little bit on my chin, and then I may pop just a little bit of this on top of that Do Me as well. Okay. Then I'm going to go into a Putty Highlighter, which I just recently picked up. Again, this retails for $29 on Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics website. It is on sale right now for $26, and I have mine in the shade Skylight. So this is from that same collection. I think this was a summer collection. It has got just a cardboard packaging. It does have a mirror in there, but this is the product here. I did already swatch it, but you can tell it definitely is that putty formula. This is what it looks like, and when you swatch it, there it is there. Now it does look a little bit dark for me, but when you blend it out, I feel like it's kind of just like my skin tone. So I thought this would be beautiful as a body highlighter, which is what I'm going to use it for. I'm going to put this on my collarbones. So just going to pop those out and just brush this right on the bone. And you can see that there. If I'm wearing sleeveless shirts, I always put my highlighter on the side of my shoulder as well and just kind of bring it down. But yeah, I love anything that just makes you look wet and dewy. It's my jam. But yeah, that is this highlighter there. I think it is so pretty. So pretty, and you can see the shine that this picks up in the sun. It will look stunning. You could even, if you had like a big brush, you could take this and rub it on the front of your legs, and you could have like model legs instantly. It's a great trick. So yeah, really like that. All right, I think we are just about done. All right, next up, we are going to go back into the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette, and I'm going to finish up the lower lash line. All right, so I'm going to go into this tiny little smudger brush here, and I am going to go into Temptress, which was that black that we used. How fun is this color here? This Dance Party, that color is so fun. So is Tipsy Girl, which is that pink. Like, if you guys want to see more looks with these palettes, like if you have these palettes and you want, I don't know, just some inspiration of looks you can do with them, I really love watching that on the internet and like trying to come up with ideas if I get in a rut. But yeah, if you guys are ever, you know, if you have any palettes that you have that you want to see some looks with, you guys leave that in the comments below. All right, so I'm just taking this little smudger brush, putting this black as close to my lashes as I can. Normally, I would prefer to use like a little angled, like liner type brush to do this job, but we don't have one of those from Jaclyn, so I'm going to try this little smudger. And then I'm going to take this tiny little blender brush, and I think I'm going to go into that Therapy Sesh color, because I think it's just such a fun color. All right, I am going to dust that off, and I'm going to put this like right on. I'm just going to smoke out this black with that. So I'm putting it essentially like on top. And I'm literally just dragging it all over. And then I'm going to pull this up because I do want to connect this. But yeah, there we go. And then, shit, I guess I will take this little, what she was calling the inner corner brush. And I'm going to go back into that shade we originally put in the crease, that I'm in it shade, which looked like a white shimmer, but it actually had quite a bit of like pink and purple, like that unicorn type of a shade, like a holographic. See it there? And I'm going to put that right in the inner corner as well. is down here on the lash line. And you can see, I mean, you can see that unicorn effect right there. Okay. I am going to finish up this other eye. I'm going to put on my mascara, and then we will be back for the lips. Alright guys, I am back. I put on my Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir mascara, and I put on my Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. I just used my little Patrick Ta dual-ended brush for that. Now, I did have a little mishap. I don't know if you could tell, like right here. I don't really like how that's looking. I'm going to try to take this little flat brush, and I'm going to try to clean it up with our concealer. So I'm going to take this out, and I'm just going to get a tiny bit of product on the very tip of our brush. And basically what I'm going to do is just try to go right where this line is. It just got a little bit outside the line. So I'm just like tapping that on. I just tapped a tiny bit of product. I wiped off the excess on my little brush, on my towel down here. And I'm just gonna pat in that concealer just to clean up that brow. And then I think I'm gonna go into this little palette here. And I'm going to go into this shade, which is the Peach. And I'm just going to dot that on there just to set that concealer. And then with my little spoolie, I'm just going to brush that out. And that's going to be, we're just going to have to call that. Not every day your makeup looks perfect, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. Alright, so I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. Alright, now for lips, I have got 2 liquid lipsticks. I have got the shade I'm a Cancer, and then I have this shade Truth. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch both of these. They retail for $20 each. So there is Truth. And then this is I'm a Cancer, which I think is really like a kind of unique, like brown taupey type of a shade. Out of those two, obviously, I would pull towards Truth. Now, I also have 4 of her lip liners. I already had these 2, and then in that Morphy sale, I recently picked up 2 more. So these retail for $18 each. Great everyday liners, great quality. This is the shade Bourbon. And then I have Macaroon, which obviously these kind of go with those, right? And then I picked up 2 more. I picked up Butter Pecan, or Butter Pecan, however you say it, and Cupcake. Alright, so here is Butter Pecan beside Bourbon, and you can tell Butter Pecan is just, it's a lighter, definitely more like orangey type of a shade. Bourbon's definitely more neutral. And then here is Cupcake. I'll swatch that beside Macaroon. Those are very similar, actually. This one, Macaroon, I would say is definitely more of like a peachy, whereas this one is more like pink based. So there we go. And this one, the Macaroon, also looks like it has a little bit of shimmer in it. Now, what do I want to wear? Honestly, I think I'm going to put on this cupcake shade. I think I'm going to put that all over the lips, and I think I might accent it with a little bit of my MAC Pretty Please in the center. You can tell this is almost like the shade of my lips, this cupcake color. Very creamy. Like, it's just gliding on. And I'm not overlining, I'm just going on the natural lines of my lips and then filling in. Okay, so there is that cupcake shade. That is like such a pretty everyday pink, right? I really like that shade. This is like creamy, but this is not going anywhere. Like, I can tell that this is like sticking down. I'm gonna go ahead and take this Pretty Please shade. And I'm gonna pop that right in the center. And then with whatever is on here, I'm just going to wipe that off on my little towel where it gets right back to perfect condition. And guys, I bought these little clear caps on Amazon. Such a game changer for MAC lipsticks. If you've got a big collection, you know how annoying it can be to find the color that you are looking for. So if you are running into that, I highly recommend. These are phenomenal. But yeah, this is gonna be it. This is the finished makeup look. I hope that you guys enjoy it. I really did. I think even though we put on an excessive amount of products, because I really wanted to use as much of her collection as possible, I think it still came out pretty good. You know what I mean? It was kind of sketchy there with the blush situation, but it all worked out. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.